everybody, and welcome back to Darvanalee Design Studio. My name's Nicole Reid, for those that are new here and don't know who I am. I own a small business here in southeast Queensland in a town called Kingaroy, and it's called Darvanalee Designs. I have a long arm quilting business, and I also do sewing retreats occasionally, a couple of times a year, and I have been crafting now for about 40 years. So a long time doing all different sorts of crafts, but for the last 9 years I've got it right into quilting and patchworking. So predominantly that's what you can see behind me here. And yeah, so today's video is about Finish It Friday, and basically what that is I go diving into my UFO box, and we can all relate to that, to any of us that do sewing for a hobby. We all have unfinished projects there, or unfinished objects, and that's what I like to call them. So that's where UFOs comes into it. So each week I dive into my box and I pull something out, or I might get Beck to pull it out, or we'll pull a couple of things out and we put it to a viewer's choice. This week, however, we're not doing a viewer's choice because I actually have a sewing retreat coming up in 7 days. So this time next week we'll be heading off to retreat for 4 days, and as you can imagine, it's a very hectic and busy time. So I have pulled something out and we're going to get into it very soon. So last week I pulled out a little mini quilt from that I made a couple of years ago, and I just never got around to finishing it. And it was by a designer from Cluck Cluck Sew. I'm not sure of the lady's name, but her website is called Cluck Cluck Sew. And basically we have managed to quilt it, and we're actually going to put it up to a viewer's choice for the binding, because yet again I could not decide on what I was going to put down. So the little quilt is done. I've just done a basic stipple on it to make it nice and quick for me. So yeah, and I'm going to just use this as a table topper in my sewing room, and maybe have a you know, vase of flowers or something like that. So you can see there that I've just done a stipple on it using a white cotton, as not to take away from the buttons on there. But I got stuck. I really got stuck on the binding. Now we've got 2 options this week, and I'm going to do a poll after the video, and we've got the 2 choices. And I was leaning towards green, but then someone last week when I was showing you what I was going to be working on also suggested a red. So, and then that's where the dilemma came in. I just could not decide what I was going to do. So I've picked out a couple of fabrics that I think will go with it, and I'll hold each one up against the quilt for you. So this is the green that I have, and I think that was what I was going to go with. Tamara says, pink, always choose pink, but the red will look good.
But the lime or red.
Yeah. So this one will, I think this one would go really well with it, and it's just a chevron pattern on there that you can see. But then I've got this one here, which is the red. So they both look equally good, and this one's got little hearts on it which match that little button there. So I'm sort of in 2 places. I don't know what to do. I could do it scrappy, but I don't have the time to do it scrappy. So they're the 2 choices, and I'm going to put up a poll after the video in the community tab, and also over on Facebook, and that way you can pick which one you think will look the best, and then I can get that on. I'm going to leave that open until Monday. I'll leave that open until Monday afternoon, and then that way I can do it on the Tuesday, and then it can be done, and then I can show you next week. Hey Biz, how you going? Hi Margaret. Hi Tamara, or Tamara, I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. So here in Australia, the way you spell your name, we would actually say it as Tamara. So, but I think you pronounce it Tamara, but I'm not too sure.
This was our discussion
we
this week.
we had this discussion. That's Beck in the background. Say hi to Beck, everybody. She's on the computer today. Yeah, we had this discussion this week. I'm not sure how to say it. So, Tamara, if you can tell me, is it Tamara is the first option? So put number 1, or is it Tamara?
The second.
So yeah, if you can let me know and put number 2 if it's Tamara. So I'd really like to know. So because we always stumble when we go to say your name. So Beck's just having a look at the messages that are...
Tamira. Because she says the
Yep.
second way, like Chimera.
Ah.
Tamira.
No, that's camera. Camera.
Is that camera?
Yeah.
Oh, it is too.
Yeah, camera.
I don't know.
So it's Tamara. Okay, so camera, Tamara. All right, no. All right, no worries. All right. Well, I'm just going to have to come to the US to meet you, and then we'll answer that. We'll get back to everybody. All righty. So Margaret says hi to you, Beck.
Yep.
So that's what I got done this week. So that was just a quick and simple one. But as I said, I got stuck on the so it's how I've been saying it. So that's right. Woo, we know how to say your name now, hon. Yay!
Now we know who we're talking about in the conversation.
Yeah, so otherwise that'd be very awkward if we ever met, if I said your name wrong. So basically, we got that done, and now we need to put the binding on it. So we're going to get that done this week. So, it is super cute. Everybody's saying how cute it is. It is super cute, and it's just a nice little one to sit on the center of my table. Maybe put a vases on it or something like that in the sewing room, because it's got buttons on it, so it's super cute. And that's what I did it for. I actually normally I use fusible fleece for my mini quilts and stuff like that, but this week I didn't. I actually used a polyester fill in this one, and it makes it a little bit more puffy and just a little bit cuter. For you can see the stitching a little bit better, and that way it'll be a little bit more resilient too. I can wash it and all that sort of stuff because it's going to be on the table. So that's what I did this week. And moving on from that, we're actually moving into what we're going to be doing for this coming week. So yes, as you know, some of the ladies that are on here will know that I actually have a retreat coming up, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. And it is crazy busy here at the moment, getting kits together and all that sort of stuff. I've got another live stream over on Facebook after this one, just going through some of the things that we need to do for that retreat in our private group. So I went diving, and I didn't pick and choose this time. I just stuck my hand in and I pulled it out, and this is what I've pulled out. So this one here is I did a class ages ago. It would be about 2 or 3 years ago. I did a class here, and I did a couple of samples, and I finished a couple, and basically I had some leftover strips, and I thought, well, I'll just whip up a nice table topper for my daughter. I made it. She didn't like it, so I never finished it, and this is what it was. It's just a crazy patch, and I used the Missouri Star templates that they have, so, and it's just for a table. So there's 6 squares in total. They're about 12 inches in size. I'll just fold it in half. You can see it a bit better. It's very colourful. It's very bright. But she didn't like it at the time. She was at that stage where she was changing her mind on what colours she liked. So this one's got to be quilted, and it also has to have binding on it. So I'm just going to put a nice yellow binding on this one. I've already decided on what I'm going to put on it. And I'm going to do some sort of quilting on it. I think I'll do a, I don't know, I think I might actually do like stars or something like that on it, because it's got dragonflies in it, it's got clouds, it's got all sorts of stuff. I might do a whimsical pattern. I'll just have to play with that one and see how I go. So that will end up going to little M for her room as a table topper, and that's what I've got to work on this week. So I'm going to try and squeeze it in, and I've also got another sample that I've got to do for the retreat that I finally got done. So I'll just grab that and show you. Just disappear off camera and I'm back. So this is another take. You would have seen a couple of weeks ago, I had a finish it Friday that was that we were doing, and we had all those problems with the internet and all the rest of it. So this is another take on that one, and if Beck would be so kind, she can pass me down the other one and I can show you what it was. Might get a better little bit better look at it this time. Okay, so I'll just turn the camera a bit for you. So this was the one that I did a couple of weeks ago, and this was to the pattern. Do you want to come a bit close this way? Yep. This was to the pattern, It's using a 5-minute block technique, and that's what we're doing at the retreat this coming weekend. Not this weekend, a week from today. So that's what I did, and I just did some basic quilting in that. I did some stippling on the border, and then I just done a loop-de-loop, really small, around the basket. So that is to the pattern. That's how the pattern was. I did add a couple of extra little flowers up in the corner and on the vase. I just had leftover fabric. I used a 10-inch layer cake for that one. And I did the same for this one as well. But you'll see that I've actually done this one a little bit different. While the borders are all the same, I'll lift it up a bit higher, and the basket is the same, you can see here I actually don't have the handle put on it this time. And I just put a bunch of flowers and leaves there. And so that's got to be quilted, and we've got to put the binding on that as well. And I'll be using this blue here for the binding. So that one there is going into the long arm machine on Monday afternoon or Monday morning possibly, depending how much of the retreat stuff we get done on the weekend. We're hoping to be finished by Saturday afternoon, and we're looking pretty good for that. So yeah, so it'll be just, I've got to make a sample for the wallet, which I can't reveal just yet, and yeah, and to do this one as well. So these will be the samples that we have there, and it's just 2 different ways that you can do the mini quilt, because I'm very much into creative expression. So yes, while I've got a pattern, I'll just change it a little bit to suit my own needs. So again, this one was done with a layer cake as well. I just had a couple of spare layer cakes there that I just wanted to use up, and that's what I did. So they'll be at the retreat, and everybody will be able to see them, and I'll get that finished by then. Alrighty, so that's what I've got to work on this week, as well as the samples and all the rest of it. So that's my finish at Friday. So what is everybody else working on? Leave us a comment down below and let us know. Are you working on something? Are you trying to get it finished, or have you already finished? And you'll be able to share your pictures and everything over in Stitch Talk or over on Facebook after the live. I'll put it up and you'll be able to put your pictures over there, and you can Kathleen is doing homework. Oh, hun, I'm so sorry. Homework is not good. I don't like homework. All right. Oh, you can't. Paula says can't show doing my retreat. Oh, okay, you're doing your retreat gift. Okay, cool. No, don't show. No showing, Paula. For those that don't know, Paula, Bowie, Beck, Tech Beck that's on the lives, and myself, we actually moderate the DD's quilting and crafting group on Facebook. So but we're not going to actually be available next weekend because we're all going to be in the one place with no internet. So yeah, Paula's the other moderator over in the group, so she keeps everybody playing nice, and a lot of the time she is also doing the birthday wishes as well for me when I'm super busy. But we haven't had any birthdays because people haven't been adding their birthdays that have been joining to the list. So if you are over on Facebook, we do in our announcements have a birthday list. You can go over there and edit and add your name to it, or you can put it into the comments, and I'll give that list over to Paula, and then she'll put up all the happy birthdays. But sometimes I do it as well. It just depends how busy I am, and she helps me out with that. And Beck and Paula keep everybody playing nice because I go to bed fairly early, and there seem to be night owls and awake at odd hours, because I noticed that Beck was awake I got up at 5 o'clock this morning, and she was awake still at 1 o'clock.
One, was it?
Yeah, right. The timestamp said it was. I don't know whether that was right or not, but yeah. And I'm thinking, wow, man, I was out for the count by then. So yeah, I definitely grace the hours of daylight, and I go to bed fairly early, but Beck covers for me and Paula cover for when I'm passed out cold at 9 o'clock for 9:30. Yeah, I'm an old lady. What can I say? Alrighty, so that's what I'm going to be working on. We're just going to move on to onto some news about the retreat and stuff like that we've got coming up in May. Our March one sold out, and some YouTube stuff that's going on as well, and also stuff that's happening over in the group. So as I just said, we've got our moderators, and we're all going to be at the retreat next weekend. We're not going to have any internet access, and we do have our mini quilt, our second mini quilt going up live on the Saturday. We have scheduled that, and it should go up. I won't be sharing over to Facebook because I can't schedule a post over to there. So unfortunately, you guys will just have to find it all over on YouTube this week. And when I get back on Monday, the following Monday, I will get that shared to all the social medias for everybody to find. But it'll all be there. The links will all be checked before we leave, and the video will be scheduled, so you'll have something to do while I'm not around. So we might be a little bit sketchy through the group with popping in and out. Occasionally, we can find a spot up there that has internet access. Usually once it gets dark and everybody's gone home and all the rest of it, we tend to get a little bit more service than what we normally would with everybody up there, just the traffic and everything. So Beck's just got something to say.
Or you go for a 2K walk up into the paddock.
Yeah.
And hold your phone up in the air.
Yeah, or you're doing this in a paddock in the middle of up of the mountains.
And then you have kangaroos watching you. No, wallabies.
Yeah, we have wallabies. We'll be taking photos and filming and stuff like that, and we're going to put a retreat video together for you. Unfortunately, we can't do lives up there. As I said, the internet's a little bit sketchy up there, so we'll try and do as much as we can. If we do happen to get in mine and Beck's bedroom, if we sit our phones in a particular spot on the window on the windowsill, and we have them sitting there, and we just lightly touch them, we get a little bit of internet access, and we can communicate with the outside world. So it gets a little bit funny at times, and you can really see the people that are quite addicted to their phones, i.e. Beck, struggle with having no internet access. And I have a bit of a giggle because I'm terrible for not carrying my phone around, and I get in trouble for it all the time. Kathleen says, wrap your head in aluminium foil, see if you get Okay, I'm taking some aluminium foil, and you just may see a photo of Beck with aluminium foil. Not me.
Desperate.
That's awesome, Kathleen. Love it. That's so funny. I might get everybody to wrap their head in our foil, and we'll take a photo. Oh my goodness, that is so funny.
Oh, thank you,
Kathleen. Bex just said, thank you, Kathleen. Oh my goodness. So yeah, Paula, myself and Beck won't be around much on the weekend in the Facebook group, but everything else I will schedule up some stuff for you guys of the topic of the week and all that sort of stuff anyway, so you'll still have a few things going up. So have fun while we're away, keep the group going, keep it all active, have fun, and all play nice is all I can say, really. So yeah, that's what we'll be doing. So I mentioned that the mini quilt is going up, so who would like a sneak peek of the mini quilt that's going up next week? If you hit the like button or leave us a comment down below, and Beck's eyebrows are doing the jingle jangle over there. She's going, sneak peek. So, okay, yeah, we've got a few that want a sneak peek. I haven't bound it yet. I'm still doing the last minute bits and pieces on it, but hopefully you'll like it. It's called, hopefully I've got it the right way. Have I got it the right way? Yes, I have got it the right way. Just double checking. All right, so this one's called Dance of the Dragonfly. It doesn't have dragonflies on it, just so you know, but we are focusing on a half square triangle. So this is what it's going to look like. Okay, it's going to have red binding on it. It's just a 2-color quilt, a red and white quilt. I hadn't done a red and white quilt, so that's why I'm doing it. It's called Dance of the Dragonfly, and it is all half square triangles. Okay, and as you can see, a lot of you will know that I like to say there's no mistakes in quilting. There is just creative expression. Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. I made a mistake on the border of this quilt, so I decided to, in the spirit of dragonflies, and how they zip everywhere, I decided to quilt it in just like a random zigzag all the way around. Okay, and I just done the quilting on the white pieces and didn't do it anywhere else. So it doesn't matter which way you put this quilt. This is the correct way that I like it, but it doesn't matter which way you put it. It's just a great way to work with your half square triangles and really hone that technique. So that is what the mini quilt is. You'll have your free pattern available over on our website, and that is www.darvanaleedesignstudio.com. And Beck was looking at her phone and not at the computer screen, then go, oh, I'm supposed to type that. Gotcha. I try to get her every now and again. Keep her on her toes, I do. Yeah, so that's going up next Saturday. So you'll have that there, which will be Friday for our American friends. And basically you will, you will have all the information there underneath the video, and the free pattern will be over there on our website. And it's just an instant download. You just click on it and it just downloads for you, and you can print that off. You don't need to run it through Adobe because there's no templates or anything like that. It's all rotary cutting, and I show you 2 techniques on how to do them in a speed way and a semi-traditional way. Alrighty, so that is what's happening. I'm sure I will see a lot of lovely quilts popping up. I noticed that you have all been doing block 3 for our block of the month for April's block, and some of them are starting to now pop up in the newsfeed over in on Facebook. And I must say they are absolutely gorgeous ladies. You are doing lovely work, and I think Linda's posted up, Paula and Beverly posted up yesterday. And Paula, Bowie, I have to say your fabrics are just divine. I'm glad we went with those choices because Paula asked me for some help earlier on the piece in picking her fabrics, and that's sort of what we went with. It was a black and red, so it's absolutely beautiful. And the link down below the video is for block 3, but you'll be able to find all our blocks in our playlist. So if you haven't decided to do them yet, you can always go over there. There's no rush to do it, but as we're going, people are posting up. Some people wait till the end and then do them all together. Other people do a couple, then get back to it a couple of months later. They're always going to be there for you, and they're always going to be on my channel. So there's no major rush, but go over and have a look at this month's block. It's absolutely gorgeous. I think you'll love it. I know that I enjoyed making it because it was something different. So yeah. Ellen's saying that she saw yours today, is Paula, and she said it's stunning. So if you're not watching all the comments there, she's just a lot. It's absolutely stunning. Those fabrics are divine. And Beverly's did hers the same as mine in the black and red. And I must say, Beverly, your block was beautiful. It turned out really well, and you should be very proud of yourself. So I just wanted to say to everybody, thank you very much for posting your blocks, because I really like to see them. Otherwise, I don't see any of your creations because a lot of people come and watch it. I think there's 200 odd people have watched it now, have they? The block 3 and
I'm not sure.
Yeah, there's been quite a few people that have watched it, and yeah. So basically, I don't always get to see everybody's block. So if you've made one and you are in our Facebook group, make sure that you share it there, because Beck and I really do like to see them. And if you haven't joined our Facebook, head over, hit that request to join, and answer the couple of questions that we've got there, and come along and join in the fun. I mean, there's a lot of encouraging women there, and we'll help you out any way we can, and that way you can contact us if you've got any questions or if there's any problems. Alrighty. What else? Okay, so this week we had a nice quick little tutorial go up. Excuse me for a moment, I just got something in my eye. We had a quick little tutorial go up, and it was this cute little key ring that I made. And I just want to say thank you to all the lovely comments that we've been getting. It's a nice quick one. It was only about a 5-minute video. It'd probably take you about 3 minutes to make, if that. They make a perfect gift, but some of the ladies were saying that they'd make good luggage tags as well, just to identify your bag and stuff like that. Super idea, ladies. I love that. I love that I can come up with these ideas and I can share them with you, and then you run with it and you put your own take on it. And that's what it's about. It's, you know, I come up with the ideas and I want you to get creative and do something else with it. And yes, they would. They'd make perfect little tags, and it was yeah, they do. They're just perfect. Another lady said that it was perfect timing. She had a convention going on or something like that, and she was going to make a heap up for the delegates that are coming in. So yeah, super quick, super easy. Now, I just wanted to say, I did get a couple of emails about this one as well. The stuff that I used here. So these key rings there's a link there for them. And I didn't put a link up for ribbing because you can actually just use, this is just twill tape that I've used on there, but you can use ribbon if you want. You can use anything really. You could use a little bit of cork, you could use a little bit of leather, you could use anything. Now I just used fabric with mine. You could make this a leather disc as well, and you could put an emblem on there, so someone's initial, or you could put a little dog on there. You could do anything really. And if you've got an embroidery machine, perfect. You can just do it all on your embroidery machine, and then you just cut the circles out and you'll be good to go. You still will need the 2 discs, because you've got to slip that little ribbon or the twill tape in there. And I just use cotton twill tape, as I said, and it makes it quite, you can see that it's quite sturdy once you've sewn it, and it's a perfect little key ring, and it's not too heavy on your ignition or anything like that. My husband is a stickler for key rings. When you've got lots of keys, just a little tidbit for you ladies, when you've got lots of keys and bits and pieces hanging off your key rings, it actually can wreck your ignition. So I know that we're a crafting show, but that's the tip from my husband this week. And he was happy with this one because it was light. So I can have this key ring on my keys now. I know. He goes on about it all the time. And if you're watching, Red, I appreciate it. I know I do appreciate it. I'm not bagging you out or anything. And I totally understand where you're coming from. So yeah, that's my husband's tip for the week. Stop putting heaps of stuff on your key rings and just have lightweight ones. Alrighty. So that's pretty much all that we've had really happening over on the channel and all the rest of it. If you haven't watched that keyring one, you'll be quite surprised how quick and easy it is. Head on over, have a bit of a look. It'll only take 5 minutes out of your day, and you'll be able to make a ton of them. They'll make perfect gifts for anybody. And yeah, I always have a few just in my gift box. I use them for swap fillers. So I used to do a lot of Instagram swaps, and I basically used to do these like with whatever was left over in the fabric or anything like that. I would just do up a little key ring and then send it off with their swap, and it was just a nice little extra gift that they used to get. Some of the swaps would ask you to put extras in, so like up to $20 or something like that. These don't cost much to make, and you can use most of your scraps, and it is a great way to use up your scraps. So while I'm talking about scraps, some of the things that we've got coming up on the channel are going to be based around scraps. We've got a couple of cushions and headbands and all that sort of stuff that we've got that we're putting together at the moment, and they are going to be based around the using our scraps out of our scrap bin, because mine's getting full, so I'm trying to use them up so I don't have like a ton of scraps just sitting there doing nothing. So hopefully you'll enjoy some of the things that we've got coming up for you, and I'll be adjusting the calendar over on our website in a couple of days. So Monday, I think it is, I've got that scheduled in, and basically yeah, basically all of what we got coming up for April will be over there. Alrighty, so that's all the YouTube sort of stuff that we've got going on, and the group stuff. Oh, while I'm talking about the groups, over on Facebook this week, I've had to remove, it was earlier on in the week, I had to remove a couple of people that were not playing nice. I've covered this before. I don't like rules. I'm not a big rule person, but I really like everybody just to not put up any of those t-shirts or sunglasses or sneakers. What else have we had go up? They're just spamming the group. Yeah. So basically anybody that's coming new into, and you guys haven't seen them because they didn't go up. Basically anybody that is new into the group, I have been just for about 7 or 8 days, once I put up the welcome to the group, I put them into, all their posts have to be approved. Everything pretty much gets approved straight away, but I have had a few that I've had to remove from the group. They were saying that they were crafty people and stuff like that, and you can only see so much of their profile, which makes it really hard. So I've had to remove them because all they were doing was putting up spam posts. I send them a message, I've removed them. So if you are new to our channel and you do come over to our Facebook group, please don't use it as a spam base. Yes, I do put some things up for sale in there, but it's usually related to the crafting videos that I'm doing here on the channel. So a couple of, I think it was last week, I put up some macrame a link for the macrame where you could find it on the website. I don't tend to put a lot of stuff up there. If a customer or a member of the group mentions a book or anything like that, or a pattern or anything, they generally put the link up because they're making it themselves and they want to share it with you, and that's all okay. That is absolutely fine. I have no problem with that whatsoever. It's just those spamming ones where you basically, all they're doing is sneakers, sunglasses, t-shirts, and even though they're sewing t-shirts and stuff like that, look, they're all over Facebook. They don't need to be in the group, and I just like to keep the group a little bit clear of that, just because there is so much noise.
Cleaner.
Yeah, it just keeps it nice and cleaner, clean, and basically you don't have to worry about seeing all those ads and all the rest of it. Hi, Benita, thanks for joining us, and I'll see you later. Carol, on the replay. Sorry you have to go, but I understand that it's a little bit earlier for you in the day, so you've probably got errands to do and stuff like that. So I'll catch you up later in the comments down below and in the replay. So yeah, please just keep in mind, if you do add anybody to the group, I know that most people don't do it, but you get the occasional couple that do, and this week was pretty bad for it. So I just thought I'd remind everybody of that. Alrighty, so I'm going to do something a little bit different this week. At the halfway mark, I'm going to do the competition. I normally just do it near the end, but oh yes, Benita, I will send you that PayPal information. I think I'm going to open up another one for that, because it'll just keep it separate from my business and I won't get confused where you've put it or anything like that. So I'll get that done today, and then that way, yeah, you can pop some money in there. And if people are just, sorry, I just went off on a little tangent then. Benita is actually going to be donating some money to a charity here in Australia that they've just announced on their page, and I haven't got the link, unfortunately, because I wasn't going to actually mention it today. But they actually asked people to buy, they got a list, and I shared it over in the Facebook group. And they have a list of things that they would like you to purchase, and then they'll give us the drop-off points, and it's things like shampoo, conditioner, toothbrushes, beanies, and all that sort of stuff, because we're about to go into winter here in Australia, and basically they put these backpacks together and they have all these supplies in them. So they'll have scarves, gloves, beanies, toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, conditioner, soap, notepads and pens and stuff, and it's all for the homeless. And they've been doing this for some time. I'm not exactly sure how long they've been doing it, but I'm jumping on board this year, and I put a notice up in the group if anybody wanted to partake. The link was there. They could go over and do it themselves if they wanted to drop some stuff off. If you were local here in Kingaroy, because the drop-off points are in Brisbane, I was happy for everybody. I'm going to have a basket here, and basically it'll be filled up with that sort of stuff, and then I'll take it down when they give us the can I adopt a homeless kangaroo? I don't know if there's something for that. So yeah, so that's what thanks, Kathleen.
We'll look into that for you, Kathleen.
We'll look into that and see what we can find out for you. Okay, so basically yeah, so basically that I'm not laughing about the homeless people. Anybody that's watching the read the comments. I'm laughing at Kathleen's comment, not about the homeless people. Okay, so basically yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have a basket here, and I'll drop it off down in Brisbane for you, because I've got a couple of trips going down to Brisbane coming up in the next couple of months. So that'll be easy for me, and then that way we can all partake. But Benita wanted to actually make a donation. And if anybody else wants to, I'll put the link up in the comments, and I can go and do some shopping for you. And then that way they'll get the things that they need. I know it's not helping them get into a home, but at least it's going to make them a little bit more comfortable and with personal hygiene and stuff like that, which is I know firsthand what it's like to live on the streets. Most of you don't know, I had a fairly troubled childhood, and I ended up on the streets pretty young, living away from home, and at some times I did end up homeless, but lucky for me, I found my soul sister, Michelle Madwell, and she gets in the group occasionally, and she rescued me, and I rescued her, and our stint on the streets was very limited, but we became very resourceful on how to keep ourselves clean and stuff like that. So yeah, so that's a depressing story, and I don't want to get into it too much, but that is my motivation behind it, because I do understand firsthand. I'm very blessed and lucky that my life went a different way, and I do thank Michelle, and I'm sure anybody else that's been in that situation thanks their lucky stars every day that they didn't end up on the streets for too long, but it can happen. And yeah, so that's why I'm doing it. And I do thank Benita for reaching out to me, and I will get that PayPal set up for everybody. So if you did want to, even if it's just $5, it's enough to buy a couple of things of toothpaste and some toothbrushes for them. Savannah is actually going shopping in the local Vinnie stores here, so Goodwill, I think a lot of people call it, thrift shops. She's going to go shopping over the next couple of weeks, and she's going to get some beanies and stuff like that. If anybody else would like to make beanies, scarves or gloves, I'm happy for you to send them to me, and again, I will put them into the basket to take down. They are just asking for dark colors, because being on the street, you don't always have access to washing machines or anything like that. So yeah, dark colors is what they're asking for. And yeah, so basically, if you want to make any gloves, they prefer not fingerless gloves, but they prefer full fingered gloves and stuff like that. Scarves and beanies. I'm actually going to get the girls to make some beanies as well. We've got those weaving looms, and they make beanies really well. So we've got some dark wool here, and we're actually going to make a few of those as well. So yeah, I'll put all the information over in our Facebook group. I'm only putting it in the Facebook group at this point. If anybody wants to contact me via email, you can do that as well. I can send you the link through there as well as my address for those that aren't on Facebook and would like to contribute. And we would appreciate anybody that sends anything. So yeah, and that's right. It can happen to any one of us at any given time. In any stage of life. It doesn't matter whether you're a kid that's had a crappy existence with, you know, you got the raw end of the stick with your parents or whatever, or you were a troublesome child and it just didn't work out at home, there, you know, or there's domestic violence and you feel the only option to go is to be out on the street. There's many women that and men that end up sleeping in their cars and stuff like that through domestic violence. There's any given reason, loss of job, loss of income, illness, anything, and even mental illness and stuff like that. Loss of a loved one can drive people to the street. Their whole world crashes on them, and there's any number of reasons why you will end up on the street, and there's any number of reasons why we can help for those that are a little bit more blessed. Or have recovered from being on the streets, or getting back on track. And it's good to pay it forward, pay it back, whatever you want to call it. So that's what I'm doing. This is the charity of my choice this year, and that's what I'm working on. And that's the now. And I'm the Linus Foundation for a lady that makes quilts for underprivileged kids and stuff like that. So yeah, that's what I'm doing this year, and I do appreciate everybody helping out that are going to. So thank you very much. I wasn't going to talk about that today, but there we are. We talked about that. Alrighty, so we're going to do the giveaway now, and this week's giveaway is going to be open to both replay and to the live stream right now. And we have a pretty good question for you, because we're in All Things Retreat at the moment. We are going to ask you, have you been to a retreat before? And if so, where was it? Where did you go? Tell me about the town that it was in. Tell me what you made at the retreat. So that's our question. And the prize that you're going to win today is a pattern from Man Sewing, Rob Apparel. I had a mind blank then. And it's called Star, Stripes and Diamonds. So that is the giveaway pattern that we've got. It is for 5-inch squares. And it is 66 inches by 66 inches. And it looks like it's actually working with half square triangles. So that is perfect for this week's giveaway. And of course, we've got another little coin pouch to give away, because as you know, if you watched last week's, I had a fair few of them. So yeah, So leave us a comment down below if you've been to a retreat or if you haven't. And if you have been to a retreat, what did you do? And would you like to go to a retreat? Alrighty. So Paula Bowie came to a retreat last year that I had last May, and that was the first time that she had come to a retreat, and that was at the Bunya Mountains, the same place I'm having this one. All right, so leave those comments down below, and if you're watching the replay, don't forget to leave your comments in the comments underneath this video when it goes for the replay, and let me all know all about it and where you've done it, and if you'd like to do one, and where would you like to do one as well. I'd love to see all of those sort of comments, so do that down below or in the comments right now. And I'm going to leave that open till 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. We'll be frantically cutting, so I might be a little bit late, but the competition closes from 10 o'clock, so any timestamp prior to 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, so 24 hours you've got to watch and answer the question, you'll get this great pattern and this little coin purse in the mail. Alrighty. So, just congratulations also to everybody last week that won. We had 4 winners last week, and that was Biz, Andra, Nikki, and Tamara. And you should get, that's all gone out in the mail along with the extras. You should see that within 14 to 21 days. So you should see that. It just takes a little bit longer because they've gone by snail mail, and we all know what the snail mail's like. It takes forever. Alrighty, so that is our giveaway. And a big thank you to everybody that joined in last week. It was a great live show. We ended up going for 1 hour and 20 minutes, which was a lot longer than we expected to go. So thank you very much for everybody that hung around for the whole thing, and for all those that caught us on the replay as well. So a couple of people asked me in Messenger and through email if I actually go through and watch the video after the live. Yes, I do. I watch it. I don't necessarily watch myself, but I do read all the comments. So please leave a comment below. If you've got any questions at all, you can leave your questions in there. Below the video and the replay, and if you're watching live, leave your questions there as well, and we'll probably get to some of them. If I don't get to them in the show, I will address them again next week. So this week we had tatting. I just had a mind blank again. I have got so many things going on in my head at the moment with retreat. So this week we're moving on to topic of the week now, and this week past week we looked at tatting. You would have seen a couple of little tidbits and everything going up in there. There is a fair bit of information out there about tatting. I have yet to find a guild where I can go and learn it, but I am on the hunt to go and learn it. I'm probably going to drag Beck along with me. Yep. Take Beck along with me. So whether she likes it or not, she's learning tatting now. So basically, I'm looking at doing that. I'm still trying to find somewhere where I can do it. If not, we will probably just, you know, hit School of YouTube and do it through there if we can't find anything like it. Bonita's asking how you're feeling, Beck.
I'm feeling fantastic.
She's feeling great. This video is actually public, so Beck's on the computer just keeping out any trolls or anything, and we haven't had any yet, which is good. I'm pretty happy about that. Excuse me, I just need to have a drink. Alrighty, so basically I'm trying to find somewhere that I can learn firsthand, because we're all, I mean, I'm a visual learner, but I can read a pattern as well, and Beck's very much a visual learner as well. And so if we can't find anybody locally or someone in Brisbane, when I say locally, I mean in Queensland, like southeast.
Within 3 hours.
Yeah, within a 3-hour drive, because that's pretty much what we have to drive to get to anywhere. It's about 3 hours. Circular. North, not so much. There's not too much up there. That's about 4 hours, really. I don't think there'd be anything in Hervey Bay. Or there might be.
There might be.
Yeah, there might be something in Hervey Bay. Anyway, so
even Bundaberg.
Maybe Bundaberg, yeah, which is about 4 hours away. Yeah. So yeah. So basically, that's what we're trying to do at the moment. Trying to find somewhere where we can do it. I'm pretty keen to learn it. It looks pretty interesting. And for all those people that commented and showed all the things that they've done and all that sort of stuff, or stuff that they've received, that was awesome. Like, there was some nice stuff. I think one lady, I can't remember the lady's name at the moment, but there was a a couple of pictures that went up about tatting as well. In the comments and stuff like that, they showed edges of like a hanky and stuff like that that they had got from their grandmother. Wendy said that she had got a couple of pieces from her grandmother as well, and that it was something that she wanted to learn. Biz also left a comment about how she feels that now that she may have missed out on something that she had learned. She was learning how to do. Correct me if I'm wrong, Biz, but were you learning how to do make nets for fishing? Was that correct in your comment? And that you weren't interested, and now you feel like you have actually missed out on something because you had someone there. Yeah, like I know myself. I know myself for my crafting. My grandmother really tried to show me how to sew and everything. Her being a seamstress, she tried to get me to sew and make clothing and stuff like that. And, you know, she's been gone for a long time now, and basically I missed out on that, and I do really feel like I missed out. I was a kid that was always wanting to be outside. I was riding to horses back then. I still am riding to horses and loved going horse riding, so I didn't want to be inside at the sewing machine. While I did craft and stuff like that on rainy days, I just didn't listen to her, and I regret that every day. So I had someone at my disposal to teach me how to make clothes. It's what she did, and I don't have that. I don't have that anymore. My mum wasn't a crafty person, so yeah. So Biz is just saying she grew up in a fishing village and they used to use shuttles to make hammocks, and she never paid attention, and that's what she was saying in the group. So that's where I'm really enjoying the topic of the week, because it's starting to get you engaged, and it's bringing some of the crafts back and all the rest of it. So yeah, I'm the same on the sewing machine, Kathleen. I'm exactly the same. I'm self-taught as well, and that's why I'm making it that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the YouTube channel. I mean, Crafty Gemini is my mentor, and that's where I have learned a lot of my skills from, and a Series Star Quilt Company for my quilting and stuff like that. But I've also done a lot of self-teaching as well, not just on YouTube, and that's where I wanted to help people here in Australia and obviously worldwide as well have that connection with someone that is self-taught and show them that anything can be done. While I've been crafting for many years, as I said in the intro, I've been crafting for 40 years. It wasn't sewing based. I did dabble a little bit in sewing, but it wasn't sewing based. So all my sewing is definitely self-taught. And quite frankly, most people are self-taught anyway. They may end up having a grandparent. Our age group would have had grandparents that sewed and all the rest of it. So from 45 onwards would have had a grandparent that sewed. But for those girls like my girls, their grandparents don't sew. My girls are lucky. My husband's mother, she was a sewer, but they never got to meet her. But their great-grandmother is a sewer, and they've learnt some stuff off her, but I've taught them most of the stuff. My mum didn't sew. Did your mum sew, Beck?
Very basic.
Very basic. So Beck's only been sewing for the last 17, 18 months. So Benita's saying she's a third generation seamstress and crafter. I'm a first generation quilter that I know of. I don't know anybody in my family that quilted. Most of the women that did craft are long gone. So I can't ask them, and my grandfathers are long gone as well, so I can't ask them either. My nonna used to work with yarn and stuff like that, so she was a knitter and crocheter. I don't remember ever seeing her sew. So I was lucky I had two grandparents in my life that did that. So I was around crafty women quite a bit. So Bex.
Yeah, my nana.
Yep.
Crocheted blankets.
Yep.
Big blankets.
Big blankets,
and
yep.
She was always doing that. That's what I grew up watching her do.
Okay.
But none of us ever learnt her craft.
No. I know my sister and I did craft at school. My sister did clothing. She actually stayed in textiles and designs. I went more over to woodwork, plastic works, metalwork. I went over to that sort of stuff because I enjoyed that. I liked doing boy stuff because I was a tomboy. So yeah. So and that's why I'm really liking the topic of the week, because it is reintroducing some things that you may have forgotten about from your childhood or something new
that you've never seen before.
I learnt a lot about tatting this week, and I was pretty excited about that. And as I said, I'm pretty keen to go and do some more learning about it and actually physically do it. There's a couple of things that I have watched. It looks like there's a lot of eye and hand coordination that I'm going to have to learn with that shuttle. But I put up a post this morning about needle tatting, so I'll probably tackle that first. And you can do it with a crochet hook too, which I've got a couple of things going up later on this afternoon about that. So this week's topic has been chosen by Beck. I asked her to look for some topics because Beck is new to all things crafting apart from crochet, which she has experienced as a kid. I asked her to have a little bit of a think about stuff, and she came up with candle wicking. So I don't know much about this topic. I have dabbled in it a little bit. I do know it's using the colonial knot instead of the French knot, and the reason they use the colonial knot is because it's a little bit sturdier than the French knot. So I do know that is what the knot that they use, and I have been researching it a little bit this week, and I found some amazing pictures to share with you. As I said, I have done it in the past. I know that I do have a pattern sitting over in my pattern box for it, and it's for a Baltimore candle wicking one. So for those that don't know, Baltimore block is generally, it's in a circle, it usually has flowers, leaves, and it looks like a reef, and it's a series of those throughout the quilt. Well, it's all done in candle wicking. I'll have to dig it out and see how many blocks there are. I think there's 16 in total, maybe 20, I can't remember. I've had it for quite some time. And I did do one of the blocks once, and that was about that'd be about 6 years ago was when I learned how to do it, and I made it into a cushion and I gave it to a friend. So I don't actually have a sample of it, but I ended up getting right into it there for a little while. But you know, life gets busy, and you can't always sit there and do the sewing. You know, like, so basically I just put it aside and it's still sitting there. I did have a bit of a look before in my patterns, but I couldn't find it to show you, but I'll put some pictures up as soon as I find it. I've got a big pattern box and it was all in there, and I was running out of time before the live, so I thought I'd show you that in the Facebook group and over on Stitch Talk. So I do know, I did do a little bit of research, and for those that don't know what candle wicking is, it's usually done, it's like white work, so it's white on white or cream on cream. I've never heard of candle wicking. I thought it was... Did you just read what Biz wrote? No. I've never heard of candle wicking. I thought you meant a holistic dropping of hot wax from a candle into someone's ear. No, that is called candle wicking, and yes, that is what they do. But no, candle wicking is basically it's an embroidery. It's a form of embroidery. I did grab some, and it's usually white work, but it's starting to get done in other colors. So like a tan color. I have seen it done in black. I've seen it done in red. And tomorrow, no, it isn't French knots, it's colonial knots. Now they don't use French knots because they're not as sturdy as the colonial knots, and I think it's done in a similar fashion as the French knot, but she thought that would be an odd choice for Beck to make too.
Wow, this topic is...
It covers many different aspects.
Absolutely.
So basically I printed off some stuff that I found, and it was through an embroidery magazine online. So and the question that you're asking, what is it? So candle wick embroidery is a type of white work or white on white embroidery used as large knots are embroidered in heavy thread on a heavier weight cotton. So generally it's done on a calico or something along those lines, or a linen. Okay, and it's using colonial knots. It was popular as a bed and window coverings in colonial America, and that's where it originated as well. And it's easy and it's very quick to learn. And it's commonly used in quilt making. And originally the actual unwaxed candle wicks thread used in this type of design was plentiful and inexpensive, and that's where the name come from. So back in colonial days, basically there was no electricity. They only used candles and stuff like that for lighting, and the candle wicks were in plentiful supply, and they were easy to use. So and they were inexpensive, and that's what it was all about. So today it's done in multiple different colors. They use natural color threads, and basically even like your embroidery floss and stuff like that, you can use that. The most common ones that they use these days is a number 5 or a number 8 pearl cotton, or you can use your regular DMC or Cosmo or your embroidery floss. Okay, it began in America, as I said just before, and it was by the women who traveled to the wild and untamed West, and that's their words, not mine. This is just an insert that I took out, and I will actually share the insert that I found in the magazine where I found it online with you as well. The women wanted the comfort in the harsh and lonely places, and they were and where they settled and stuff, and they wanted to make their home more homely. They weren't able to take a lot of their belongings with them, so this is how it came about. And because they didn't have much money or anything like that, that's why they used it, because basically it was in plenty of the stuff around that they could use it for. Basically, it just goes on that about how you can use the different things. Most of the time they used it on unbleached muslin fabric, and yeah, it's super easy. And they keep saying throughout the thing that it was super easy to do. And yeah, and I might even do a little video and show you how to do a colonial knot. It's quite easy. Like, it's one of the easiest knots to do, really, because it's just sort of wrapping it around and you're going back down into it and pulling it. I'll get that out over the next couple of weeks, and we can do a little video on how to do candle wicking, and then that way you can see it firsthand. Short of that, I'll be sharing lots of different pictures. There are many different designs that you can get that you can print off for free as well over on Pinterest, and I'm putting a board together over there, and I'll share that board to the group for you, and that way you can find everything in one place. So that's our topic. That's what we're going to do, and that came via Beck this week, and yeah, and it's actually something that I've done, and I did find it quite easy and quite therapeutic. Like, you're just doing the same thing over and over again, but you don't have to just limit it to the colonial knots either. You can actually incorporate it with other styles of embroidery as well. So I'll be posting those over during the week, and I'll put all the little tidbits and share the links and stuff that I found of different places where you can find all the different things. And I'll also share a Pinterest board with you that has all the free patterns and everything, so you won't have to hunt very far. It'll be all in one place for you.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so that's it for the topic of the week. As I said, you'll learn more about that throughout the week, because I've got a lot more information to put up. And so we're going to move into question time. So apart from the questions that have already been asked, okay, so Benita's got a question for the embroidery floss. Okay, I did have some information here about that, and I'll just check what it was. So it says you can use number 5 or number 8 pearl cotton or regular embroidery floss. You can actually use 2 or 3. It doesn't say anything about using the whole 6 strands of your embroidery floss, just 2 or 3. And it's just depending on what application you want it for. So if you were going to do a whole quilt in it, I would probably do a pearl 8, which would be equivalent to 3 strands of embroidery thread off the top of my head. Yeah, it would be kind of thick if you used more than 3. So, and plus you've also got to because you've got to wind it around too. You've got your 3 strands. You want it to be able to go in through your fabric, like to make the knot not too risen off as well. So yeah, so basically if you've got any pearl 5 number 5 or number 8 in your pearl cotton, just have a look how thick it is, and that's how you would separate your embroidery floss, because not all embroidery floss is equal either. I have some that my kids have got in kits and stuff, and they look slightly finer than my DMC or my Cosmo. threads. So yeah, I would just check that out. Alrighty, so as I said, we're on to question time, and I do thank you everybody for their lovely comments and support emails that they send through to me. It's quite nice. That's a nice way to end the day some days when I get those lovely emails and comments. And we do try to get back to all your questions here on YouTube and also through the email, but some of them we hold over to our live yeah, I will show yes, I will. I will show the difference between a colonial knot and a French knot. It'll just be a little video that I'll put up. I'll probably get to that after the retreat and put that up maybe on a Monday or something like that, or even on a Wednesday in the afternoon. It'll just be a little snippet one that I put up, and just to show you the difference between the two. So yeah, I'll probably do that. Not this week coming, the week after I'll do that. My time schedule I can fit that in for that one. Alrighty, so we had a couple of questions that came through. One came through from an email that I didn't recognize, and I'll get to that. But it was a pretty good question, so I thought I'd hold it over. They didn't sign it either, so I don't know, excuse me, who it was from or anything like that. Okay, so the first question come in from Paula Kay. And that came in via email. And she asked if we were going to have any more retreats this year. So as I mentioned earlier, we do have one in May, and that's on the 24th to the 27th of May, and it's at the Bunya Mountains again. And we are looking at having one in August, but that is still up in the air at the moment because we're trying to find really good dates for that. But we do have one booked for October, and that is the last weekend in October. That is booked. The deposit is paid for. So yes, we definitely have that one, but we may have one in August. We're just trying to nut out the date for that. Now the October one, it is booked, as I said, and we haven't started selling tickets for that yet, Paula, but we will be selling tickets for that as soon as we have the agenda set in place, and we are still in talks with some people who we're looking at coming to, and there's one other person that I need to contact to just get their pricing and all that sort of stuff, because that is all factored into the price when it goes for sale. So I just have to make sure that I've got all my ducks in a row before I can start selling those tickets. So I will send you an email letting you know when they go on sale. Short of that, I'll make the announcement on our live studio chats and or in the Facebook group. So you can keep an eye out for that. Alternatively, you could probably head over to our events tab and follow the Darvanalee Design Studio business page, and that way you will get any notification of anything that's coming up, so pop-up workshops or retreats. So you didn't say where you were living, so I'm assuming that you're here in Australia. That's why you were making the inquiry. So yeah, so just keep an eye out for that. If you follow us or like the business page, which is Darvanalee Design Studio, you'll be kept up to date with everything. Just remember, with the Facebook algorithm, you do need to come back to the page frequently and interact into that page to get notices from my page as well. So that's a really good idea to do that. Maybe even just once a week, come in, like a post, or leave a comment or something along those lines, and that way you can you'll be able to be kept up to date. You'll notice when stuff comes up. It'll come up in your notifications and stuff like that.
Did you mention our Facebook page, not the DD's group?
Yeah, that's the page I was just mentioning then. Yeah. Oh, the retreat page. No, we've also got,
listed
yeah, there's a comment in the live chat comments. There is a page that it's still in its fledgling stages. We're trying to get the momentum on there. It's DD Sewing Retreats, and the link's there for you, so you can head over there and like that.
For our next event. Yeah,
for our next event, you'll see it there. Okay, alrighty. So another question that came in, and this was the anonymous one, so I don't know who this is from, but it's a very good question. All right, I will just get something. I'll be back in a sec.
Do you want me to play some music while you disappear?
Let's start singing, Beck. Alrighty, I forgot to grab it before the live. So this question came in. I didn't recognize the address, so it's not someone that I've been in contact with before via the email. And the question is, do you have any plans of traveling to the USA to teach retreats or have any meet and greets? Okay, so this is a very, very good question. And I can happily say that I do have plans to travel to the United States. I have been down to the passport, which is our post office, and I've got my passport papers. I have to renew my passport, but it's expired a little bit longer, so I've got to go through the rigmarole filling it all out again. So I've got the papers. They are getting filled out in the next couple of weeks, and I will lodge that. So I will definitely have my passport sooner rather than later. And thanks, Tamara. So yes, I am coming to the USA. I have been wanting to come for a very long time. So that has all been put into place. That is now a goal on my goal board. And basically I am planning to come to QuiltCon in Atlanta in 2021. So that is where I'm hoping to be. Now this all does depend on finances and everything like that, but I've already started saving, so that's all good. And I've got to get my passport, so I've started doing that. We've got 23 months.
We're on a countdown.
Yeah, so I'm on a countdown, and we've got 23 months to get it all together. So we have plans in place. We are saving our butts off. Beck is hoping to come as well. And my husband's tagging along with me. So I've already said to my husband, okay, I'm not doing the car thing. We can travel to the US together. When we get to the US, you can go and do your car thing. I'm going quilting. So, yeah, so basically, Tamara's just saying a heap of them are going to the Atlanta one. So, yeah, that's where I'm aiming for. And I did talk to Andra about this as well. So that is the goal. It is on the goal board. We have actually set up a joint savings account on PayPal, Beck and I, and we are planning to, I can't speak for Beck at this point, but I'm starting to save my butt off. Beck is trying to work out her finances and all the rest of it, and I'm dragging her along as well.
Even if it's in the suitcase.
Even if I stuff her in a suitcase, apparently. So I am coming along. So I will be at QuiltCon. And I'm hoping to do a little bit of traveling through the US while I'm there, because this is going to be a trip of a lifetime. Are my kids coming? Probably not, because I can't afford to, because the airfares alone, just the return airfares would be around $8,000 to $10,000 for my family to come. So I don't think that they'll be coming. But then, you know, nothing's off the table. Will I be teaching a retreat? Well, that is a whole different kettle of fish. Yes, I could probably organise a retreat with the help of some of my lovelies that are in the group and I've been friends with. I probably could organise a retreat. Problem is, I have to get visas, working visas and all that sort of stuff. So that is a whole different kettle of fish, and that may be a little way down the track. So in saying that, I am going to QuiltCon. I may end up teaching a retreat over there, or someone may get me to come to one of their retreats. You just never know where it's going to go. So the visa requirements are a little bit tricky because, as I said, I've got to get working visas and all that sort of stuff for retreats. I would love to teach a retreat, but at this point I'm just coming over for a meet and greet at QuiltCon in Atlanta. And as I said, I have my passport papers. They're getting filled out. I'm going to go and get my photo taken, and then I'll have my passport. And it should be quick and easy for me to get my passport anyway, because I'm just going over there for a holiday. So I don't have to worry about any working visas or anything like that. That all takes time. And if I'm going to stay there longer than a certain amount of time, I've got to have special visas for that sort of stuff as well. So, if I do end up teaching a retreat, I will return an email to you and let you know where it is, whoever you are. So I don't know who this person is that's asked me. They didn't sign it, and they didn't, it didn't have a name. It was just an email address, and that's it. So, yeah, it was I went into my spam. That's how I found it. It didn't even go into my inbox because it didn't have anything on it. So yeah, so that is what I am planning to do. I've got 23 months to get my stuff together, and I'm in the process of doing it. So hopefully I'll be getting to meet some of you lovelies that are joining me today, and I'm hoping that a lot of you actually that I've wanted to meet for many years from the Crafty German Quilt Club will be there as well. So I'll get to, you know, meet a lot of people and have a great time. And it's going to be very weird because I've never been to America and I don't even know really where Atlanta is. So
I just checked it on the map.
yeah, we might have to swing by Canada first and kidnap Biz and bring her down too. So we have a plan, ladies. We have a plan. Okay, so this question came in from Kathy, and but Kathy didn't say where she's from, but I'm assuming she's from in the States or somewhere like that, because she's asking about virtual stuff and online workshops and stuff like that. So Biz also mentioned something about a virtual retreat or something along those lines, and that sort of got me to thinking, and obviously a few other people were thinking about it as well, because I did get this email through. So she had been on my website and she's seen the Dee Dee's mountain retreat bag that I did at a retreat, or she's been following me for a while. And for those that don't know what the mountain retreat bag is, it's this big one here, and I've done a pop-up retreat, a pop-up workshop, in my local town, and I've also done it at last May's. It was our first retreat that we did, and for those that don't know what it is a massive bag. All right, so this is the inside of the bag. So this is the back of the bag. It has a flat pocket and a needle thing there, needle book, and then it has, and Beck's going to have to help me hold it up. Okay, nothing should fall out. All right. Okay. So I've zipped everything up. So it's got six pockets there, and you can actually put your rulers underneath those pockets, and a small cutting mat, and it is huge, but it holds everything. It's got a pin cushion in it. It's also got another pocket here that's got a slip pocket at the back, and then it's got a lace zipper pocket here with some speaker mesh to hold your threads and all that sort of stuff. And then you've got the 6 big pockets here that hold all your things. I put all my blades and everything in there. And then you've also got this spot here to put stuff in as well. So it's got an accordion style side to it, and then it has a big zip that zips it all up. And then you've got your handles on it. So it's huge. And her question was basically, am I going to do a video series on it, or maybe a virtual workshop? So I'm thinking that I'm actually going to do a video on this, so a video class on this one, and that way you get the pattern and everything you need. I'm actually doing a few little tweaks on this pattern. Like, the pattern goes together beautifully. Yes, I do sell the pattern. It's over on my website, hun. I am making a couple of little tweaks to it just to make it a little bit easier sew for people as well, and adding a few little extra things to it. And I'm also doing, I'm in the process of making a mini one. So, and it will be set up the same way, and it'll have 3 pockets, and that's what I'm thinking of doing. So maybe, what did Business say? I have that pattern, but would love to do a live class. Yeah, some people might already have this pattern of mine as well. So that's fine. I'm just thinking that I'm not sure exactly how I'm going to do it. Whether I'm going to do it as a virtual retreat and we do it all live, or whether we which would be tricky because I don't have all the software to do that. But I'm thinking for the meantime that I would do them as a video class, and then that way and I can do them as a premiere and stuff like that. And yeah, I'm still in the process of doing the nitty gritty part of it. But yes, this is a massive bag. It's a perfect bag for retreats. You chuck everything in. It's got the handle, and the handles actually hold really well, so you don't have any issues with that. But I also I'm putting some little tweaks and all that sort of stuff into it as well, just so you can add some extra things onto it. And as I said, I'm working on the small one, which will be the mini. And Bex just put up in the comments there of where you can get that pattern as well, Bonita. But it's looking like it's going to be probably about another couple of months, mid-year maybe, a little bit later, maybe August. It'll go up. I'm starting to do the sort of all the things that I've got, all my ducks are getting them all in a row for what I need to do for that sort of thing. Pricing and stuff like that, there'll be kits available on the website for it. They'll be already cut and ready for you to just start sewing. most of the interfacing, I think we put all the interfacing on the last kits, didn't we?
Yes,
we did. All the interfacing's all on there and ready to go. And it'll be in Australian dollars, of course, because we're in Australia. You'll get the pattern with the kit as well. So even if you didn't want to do the video course, the patterns will still be available. And is that here? Oh, someone outside.
No.
Yeah, so we're putting a few things together, and there definitely will be a video for this. I have been asked many times in the past for it, so yes, there definitely will be a video course on this. I just don't know the time frame yet. So I hope that answers your question there, Kathy. And yeah, so that's all in the pipeline as well. That was a little bit of exciting news that I haven't been telling anybody about, but now you all know. So I have just gone over time again. Like, this hour flies by.
We just have so much fun.
So I'm gonna call it a day now. I've got to make a few phone calls. I'm chasing a few products, and I've got another live stream to do at in 45 minutes. So hopefully you enjoyed everything that we talked about today, and don't forget to enter our competition. And I will see you all again next week at the same time, where we will be frantically packing to get the last minute bits and pieces in for the retreat next weekend. So
Miss S and I in the back.
yes, you'll probably see Beck and Savannah going through the background all the time. I'll still be sitting in my same spot, but I probably won't have a table in front of me because that will be packed up and in the car. So I'd just like to say on that note, thank you very much for joining me, everybody, and I look forward to seeing you through the group during the week. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the like button and show us some love. And we'll see you all again next week. And it's bye from me and Beck for now. See you all later. Bye.